Hello, divine woman. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Can't hear you.
Oh,
Can't
you
hear you.
just cut out. Oh,
Oh, yeah, now I can. Now I can.
okay.
Yeah, perfect. So Tash is in her car. I've got a little baby girl. Tash has actually just got a little baby girl as well. So we're both mummies. So we're going to get to the point with this beautiful chat about your experience in Soul to Soul. She's just gone out of the car, as you can see, so that she's got better Wi-Fi. So we're just, apologies if it's a little bit in and out, but stick with it because Tash is a freaking epic woman. And I really can't wait for you to hear like where she is now. So Tash, why don't you tell us where you're from and what you do?
And I live in New Zealand, beautiful New Zealand, and I live in the country. So it's, with everything that's going on, I am so grateful. And it's actually nice being in my car because the sun's shining on me. It's beautiful. I'm also a primary school teacher and I teach little ones around 7 to 8 years old. And, bring me lots of joy. And yes, as Lucy said, I am a mother to a little baby girl who's just about 3 months old.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so
God. So
it's
amazing.
a brief.
The one thing that I'm so present to right now with Tash is when we first had our breakthrough call, she was in the car. I think you were about 5 months pregnant or less, 3,
Was it a bit more? I might have been further along. I can't
maybe
remember.
you were about 6 months.
No,
Anyway,
yeah, at least 6, yeah.
so the thing about that was when Tash came to me, she was not in the energy she's in right now. I can tell you that much. It was, I'm just so, I said to her before we hit record, I was like, your energy right now is off the charts. Like, seriously, like different woman. So I just wanted to call that out. But before we go into where you are now, if we just take you back, I know it's not comfortable, but if you even just want to close your eyes and connect and just go back to where you were when you first reached out to me so that these divine women who are watching this right now can actually relate to, where you were and what was so bad about your life.
It was like there was lots of sadness and anger and just really overwhelmed with everything. So overwhelmed meaning I just kind of thought I was lost, like really, really lost. And I was just about to have a baby, like, so I suppose I've been, in my past, I've been so in control of everything. And it was like my world just, I don't know, it just seemed like, oh, is this going to be it? I just felt like I was surviving on a little, those little mice that go round and round?
Yeah.
Those little running things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Yeah, very, very sad, very angry, everything, just overwhelmed, anxious, and
yeah,
lots of those sort of feelings. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember, by the way, Tash has had a little girl on her own. So obviously I don't work with women that are married. I work with single women. And Tash is the first woman that I've worked with who's actually pregnant and doing this on her own, which is so inspiring. But one of the things I remembered from the call, Tash, was what you did do, I should say, in your life was you would run away. Like you were scared
Yes.
of greatness. And
Yes.
I remember saying to you on that call, if you're not careful, you're going to run away from getting the support.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, now I remember. It was the cut, I think, because I'd watched your master class, and it was, I'm a cut and run person.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And that's what I was doing. Well, that was normal. That's what I was doing. Just normal cut. See ya.
Yep. Because why were you doing that? What were you scared of?
I was scared of being vulnerable. I was scared of being seen fully. I was scared of being hurt. I suppose I was scared more of actually getting what I really wanted.
Yes. Isn't that?
That was what I was scared more of. Yeah.
I'm so glad you're sharing that because, people come into Soul to Soul with so many different things that are blocking them. But I always speak about this, we're often way too scared to actually get what we want because what if I get it, but then I lose it?
Yes.
And then we go into, well, what's the point in trying anyway? I may as well just stay with what I know.
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is suffering, which is not getting what I want.
Totally.
So with regards to how you were really feeling, I know there was stuff around the guy, like the father of River. Like, how are you feeling about that relationship not working and then going on this journey on your own? I remember, but obviously it's about you sharing. I remember exactly where you were. There was a lot of emotions around that. But in a nutshell, because it's still related to what these beautiful women who don't necessarily, have a baby on the way, but they've had relationships that didn't turn out the way that they wanted them to.
Yeah, it was just, well, it wasn't, it was very fresh and new. It wasn't someone I'd been with for a long time. And so it was kind of like just a new thing. And I suppose my thought was, that's probably my old way of being, is like that cut and run is like, oh, well,
yes,
it was just new. Who cares? Like,
yes.
no big deal.
Yes.
And then I just suppressed that, and realized how sad and angry I was about the situation. And a lot of it was I was blaming myself for it. Yeah, how could I get myself into the situation? And now that I'm on the other side, I just want to kind of say that when I did Soul to Soul, and yeah, of course I still have the emotions, we're human beings, I had this different thing of like, this isn't about me, this is about him, and this is about his, and I don't hold anything against him, like that's his choice, like the situation between us, and that my response is different in the sense of like, this isn't about me, like in the sense of being okay with it, accepting it, allowing whatever I was feeling and releasing it. Because before I was always just holding on and being like, everything's okay, I'm all good, and I wasn't. I was like, and all that positivity of happy go Tarsh, so much sadness, like so much sadness that I did not want to put onto my daughter when she came into this world. And that's another reason I knew I had Soul to Soul.
Yes, I remember you literally having a fear of cutting and running from her.
Mm-hmm. I would give her someone, like a family member. But
no, yeah, totally. But I remember that you were so in that place of being so scared of being let down. And that I just remember on the call, it really struck me. You might have forgotten it, and that's cool because we're now in such a different place. But it was really touching because, you and I just connected at such a deep level, and you were like, I'm scared of letting River down. Like, I'm scared of not being in my enoughness, and just my habit is just to run, like, and that was just in that moment. Obviously, like now it's a completely different story, but on that call, there was a really big fear of like you being up to the job of doing motherhood on your own, and, allowing support and all of that stuff, because it's no joke having a baby, and all this stuff was running through you at the time. And I remember that was sort of the tipping point of where the phone call went, where you're like, fuck, like, yes, I'm about to have a baby, but I want to be the best version of me. I really want to show up for her. So first I have to learn how to show up for myself.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I knew, that I'd always put everyone else first. I was even putting him first in the way of his feelings of the whole situation. We weren't in a committed relationship. We just kind of met each other, kind of getting to know each other, and then, oops, surprise. And I just knew deep down that whether or not he wanted to be a part of her life, that I knew that I was meant to have her. Mm-hmm. And then all these other emotions came up, and realized you came up, because I was like, what's going on? Like, I need something from the universe, something, a sign or someone. And you came up on my page on Facebook, and I went, oh, cool. And that's when I watched some of your stuff, your live videos. I watched the master class, and just something connected. And I knew I had to do something, like, I knew, just for her, really, and for myself, of course. But at the time, it was more driven by her. It was driven by her.
Yeah, well, we've always got something running us. So there are women watching this right now that their dream is to be a mother and to have a baby, right? That's driving them right now, because, it's like, fuck, every year this isn't solved. It's affecting my egg quality. Do I even know if I can have a baby? Like, that's a driver for so many women that will be watching you, Tosh. It's so inspiring. There are many ways to skin a cat, and you're such a a role model of someone who's gone and had a baby on her own, who's opened her heart before the baby comes in, and which means you're going to open your heart to let in your soulmate as well. You know, I think that's with one of the biggest things that shifted for you in the program was actually before you were feeling like, well, this is my lot and I'm just going to be this, like, who's going to want me with a baby? And that's completely shifted.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
How do you feel, you know, that that's shifted for you since, you know, pre-Soul to Soul and then now having gone through it and having had River? How has that changed for you?
What has changed for me? The most amazing thing that's changed for me is that in the past I would do everything on my own. Like, I'll be okay, I can do this all on my own, you know. And with a child, no, that's not how it works anyway. You just, whether you're just you or with a partner, it doesn't matter. Like, you need a whole tribe. So my biggest thing was actually allowing people to help me or ask support. That's the biggest thing I've got from this whole experience. Yeah,
it's huge.
That's the biggest, is asking.
I just got full body chills on that, because that's the feminine, Tarsh. You were so in your masculine. You were so your worldview of life was like strangled, and that was around. It was. You were really scared on that call with me. Like, you were so scared. You could have gone either way on that call, because and we'll get to that actually. You know, it was like, I've got a baby coming. This is in US dollars. You know, you're in New Zealand. You know, it was all these unknowns as well. Like, what does motherhood even look like on my own? Like, there was so many reasons, Tash, that you could have not followed through on this for yourself. So could you just speak to the women now watching you who are like, well, I don't know, it depends on how much it costs, or like, what would you say to those girls right now who know that they need this? They know they need the support, but they've got those kind of like, well, maybe I don't need it right now, or, you know, those excuses. What can you just share with us what was really there for you?
When you, the whole money thing, that was a massive, could have been my biggest excuse, you know, of not doing Soul to Soul. And at that time, and it was something like when I went into my actual heart, not in my thinking space, but in my heart, I was just like, I have to do this. Like, I have to do this. I will find a way. And there was that possibility, like, even though there was lots of fear of how am I going to get this, you know, this money, how, and, you know, there was also there was something bigger, like, that was fighting for me, and that's my truth, like my, you know, who I am. And I knew I needed something that I needed, and I just knew this was the right thing for me, and I could just feel into it. And, you know, honestly, I just got the resources. You know, I'm resourceful anyway. The thing is, though, because I knew deep down there was something, it just, all this money just flowed to me, and it happened because I knew it was right for me. There was no, I just knew if I didn't do something in a year's time, I was going to be worse off than what I was at that point. Like, I was,
darling, stop,
going to be, you know, I just knew that, you know, if I didn't do something, and I knew there was something of like just trust came of possibility of, you know, I can, you know, fine. Like, it was almost like I just knew this money would come to me, like that I needed. And it all worked out. Like, it was, I don't know how long it took, but it was really quick. It was very quick. Because at that time, it was like, wow, like, where am I going to get? So it was kind of like, instead of going into a thinking space, just go, you know, go deep down and just go to yourself. Do I need this? I need this. I feel I need this. I know this will work out. Then opportunities come. Like, there was, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I know the feeling, like, it's a different feeling of thinking. Like,
well,
there's a total different feeling.
It wasn't thinking, it was feeling. And actually what Tarsh is, I'm going to make it straight to the point of what it is to help you, is she made the decision. She literally, I said, Tarsh, this is going to come from you. Like, this is either a hell's freaking yes, what I said to all my women, or we're not doing it. Like, if it's not a hell's yes, then let's just not do it. Because even with the fear, which is completely normal when we get out of our comfort zone, right? You are on the edge of a cliff, out of your comfort zone, going, wow, this could be the beginning of the rest of my life, or I'm going to let the fear make this decision. But when you decided and said, no, I'm doing this, you found a way. The way showed up because you made the decision and you put your stake in the ground and went, I'm fucking doing it, and I don't even know how. And they were literally your words, like, I'm going to figure it out.
Yes.
And
Nice.
we were in touch. You know, anyone that you know, a lot of my women have to get resourceful, and that in and of itself is a huge up level, saying to the universe, I want more. I'm worth this. Right? So it's like the universe is always listening and watching. And when we go close to doing something big for ourselves, but then we pull back, then you just say to the universe, well, I'm not ready. You know, because to truly change your life, you have to be out of your comfort zone. The stakes have to be high. If the stakes aren't high enough, there is no fucking transformation.
I agree.
Think about if I charged $100 for Soul to Soul. Just think about that.
Oh, I wouldn't be committed.
You just wouldn't.
I wouldn't show up.
No.
I wouldn't show up.
Not the way you did, not the way you changed your life and inspired everyone along the way. So I just love that share, because Tarsh she is like, you know, I love all my women, but she is a massive pin-up in Soul to Soul because, you know, she's on a teacher's wage with a baby on the way, a lot of obstacles, plus a freak load of fear that was already in her space of wanting to just cut and run on that call. I said to her, right now, you want to cut and run, don't you? And you were like, yeah. You were like, you laughed. You were like, yep, pretty much. And part of me expected Tash to hang up on me, and I wouldn't have been upset. It was just because I would have known she would have that little girl was just going to sabotage, right? Yeah. But I was so delighted when that superhero version of you just stayed there on the call. And now I am looking at a completely different woman in completely different energy. It's just unreal. So what would you say was the main thing you already shared you got out of Soul to Soul was actually the feminine, the allowing, letting yourself be loved and supported and held. How do you feel now about your life, even in the midst of the coronavirus?
Like there is still fear. Like fear never goes away. Like fear never goes away, you know? So it's a different sense of, I don't know what it is, but it's like, I just know everything's going to be okay. Like, and what I'm doing is I'm feeling and just being present with my baby girl. So really enjoying her. Even more so just appreciating my family. Like I'm so lucky that I'm even with them, because we have to stay where you live. Yeah. So I had to move my parents just to get support, just while baby's little, until so I could have been living by myself, you know, and I would have had to stay in that house, like by myself. That's how the rules are, you know. So it's just like looking at life differently and just being more appreciative and grateful for even clean water. Like we still have food. We're still able to have food. Exactly. We're, go to the supermarkets. We're able to have clean, fresh water. I can still keep contact with you.
Exactly. Like but I just want to know, just in the context of like, you know, we were just talking offline before, you know, you came on.
Yes.
Where would you be right now if you want to drop back into before you said yes to Tarsh and that big dream? Right? Where would you be now, even in the face of where the world is at with the coronavirus, without the sisterhood, without the support, without the tools? I remember your answer before. I just quickly said, how are you feeling? And she was like, so share, like, where would you be right now if you hadn't?
It just went, oh gosh, I just felt it again. Heaviness. You know, just horrible, just, you know, alone and heavy and overwhelmed. So all those horrible feelings, like, intensified, to be honest. Like I felt that when we were on the call prior to that, I just felt that energy just dropped. Like, you know, you can feel it. Oh, it's heavy. Can we take that away?
Because, you know, Tarsh is, you know, obviously once women go through Soul to Soul, they go and join, you know, there's a sisterhood for everyone that's gone through Soul to Soul from women around the world. Tarsh is in there constantly. Right? She's just like a freaking powerhouse in there, sharing, continuing on, right? In 8 weeks, it's about a new foundation. But that's now the beginning of your life. So it's about conditioning with the tools. It's not like, yeah, come in for 8 weeks and then never do anything again. It's about staying inside the sisterhood with the women who are at that level, sharing together. And it's that community that really does truly create that immunity, because no matter where you are or what time zone, you've got people that get it, that want to thrive instead of contract into fear.
Yes.
And that's something that I'm seeing in the sisterhood a lot right now, is just comments of, we were just talking about this, where the hell would I be like through this crisis without my crew, without the tools? Like that's what I'm most present to right now and most proud of as someone who's, you know, sharing in your journeys, is to go, hey, there's women in the world that are able to still thrive no matter what's going on in the world.
Totally. And we just decided to do a little bit more of keeping in contact. We Timsy's organised something, so that's really cool. One of the queens. So, you know, like keeping in touch is a massive thing with, you know, because we're social beings, and the support, that's the difference, is having the support. Like when I did Soul to Soul, it wasn't like I'm just reading a book and I'm ticking the boxes and watching lives, that I'm not actually, it was actually interaction. There was interaction with all our sisters, and continuously getting, you know, just interaction, support all the time, and even after Soul to Soul.
Yes.
Because I could have gone back,
yes.
You know.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes. Beautiful. Yeah. And you tried other things before this? You tried
I've tried everything. I'm not saying that they weren't fantastic. I've tried therapy. I've tried done therapy, and Landmark was one, you know, like, and they've all been great, don't get me wrong, but they're just little short courses, you know, like I've tried, you know, online stuff, and I just felt like I wasn't getting the support. It's different.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, the collective, it's stronger.
You're
stronger as a collective, as opposed to just by yourself.
And it's the fastest way to ascend is when you're with like-minded women wanting the same. It's like freaking rocket fuel. But then it's also the heart space, Tarsh. Like a lot of people come to me who've done Landmark, or they've done Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, and all sorts of different things, therapy, you name it, all these other technologies, sometimes, you know, ayahuasca, whatever. It doesn't matter. That what matters is your heart open, yes or no? And Landmark I love, but it is very particular. And therapy is just a lot of talking. There's no process. There's no accountability. There's no everyday support. It's just like, yep, talk about it, go home. So there's a really big gap in a lot of the work out there. Tony Robbins is, I love Tony, but like it's, you know, Date with Destiny's 5 days. It's not long enough to truly integrate and embody that new you. So there's a gap there, and that's why Soul to Soul is 8 weeks, so that you're being held and supported as you start to grow your wings, you know, all the way through.
Totally. And it's about being consistent, like with you know, everything. It's just about being consistent, and I know that from, you know, anything like to do with health to fitness to, if you want to achieve something, like that's my masculine side. And that's great. Like I celebrate that. That's where I get a lot of my drive as well. Like not my drive, but I know, you know, my goals, I can set it up. And what drives me, of course, is, if, you know, that passion, that, and it is your heart. Like that's, you know, like with teaching, I knew deep down in my heart that I wanted to teach. So I was so good at getting that, you know, in my, you know, it was just more about being vulnerable to another human being.
Yes, Tash, because we can easily go out and get the career we want, but when it comes to letting that in from a man, that's where our little girl freaks out. So how do you feel right now, truly, about, you know, obviously when Corona's lifted and, you know, you're not such a new but how do you feel about, you know, your soulmate? How do you feel about letting someone in?
I'm really excited. Just really excited for the possibility of allowing myself. There was something my cousin, I just remember there was a moment my cousin, we're talking about this, and I just said, and she said, oh, she's not ready to let someone in. And I was just like, I'm ready to let someone in now. And I went, oh my gosh. And she said, what? I said, that's just like not something I would say.
Yes.
So I said, I'm ready to let someone in, even though there's still a fear there. And that's because it's anything outside your comfort zone. There's going to be, and yet I'm not going to let fear rule my life anymore.
Well,
There's a difference.
That's exactly right. I have fear come up as well, but it doesn't stop me. It fuels me to do things.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Love is incredibly vulnerable. And look, I'm married to the love of my life with my beautiful baby girl crying in the next, well, laughing in the next room, I should say. And I love him and her and my dog more and more every day. That's even more vulnerability. But it's not like I go, hey guys, I'm going to walk out because I'm scared I'm loving you too much. You know, like it's the fear is there because love is so vulnerable. But as you said about knowing, oh, okay, the fear's going to be there, but that's not going to stop me. Whereas before it was stopping you.
Yeah, the cut and run, definitely. My little girl would rule that. There was something about, you'd said something on a live about your baby watching her, and when she goes to sleep and just being very emotional, and that's exactly like me, like just so much love, you know, and there's that fear of, oh my gosh, like I could, you know, because you love them so much, like there's that fear of losing, but then it's like, no, I'm just going to enjoy just loving this, enjoying receiving her love. And she's been a massive, of course, soul to soul as well with her. I suppose if I wasn't in this place, I probably would have been different. I'm sure. I just allowing her in, I suppose, is the best. Allowing, yeah.
The truth is, Tarsh, is that where you were when you first spoke to me, if you hadn't gotten this support and that heart open and really stepped into that power that you have, such a beautiful power, there's every chance you could have gone into postnatal depression. Every chance.
Oh, totally.
That's the truth. We've always got to look at what's at stake. Now, I'm not saying it's a definite, and I wouldn't have wanted to predict that, but you would have been a prime candidate for that, right? Not on your own, not loving yourself, being a mum, lack of sleep, it's fucking huge. So it's like, you know, seeing you thriving in motherhood is just like so inspiring because, you know, I can say it, you know, it's not a walk in the park. It is full-on game changer of life in the best possible way. But there's a lot of postnatal depression out there because underneath, first of all, there's hormones and stuff, but it's underneath all the stuff that hasn't been resolved, like it comes up.
It does, yeah.
So this is just a huge testament to you, Tarsh. I mean, you're the one that stepped up. You're the one that said yes to support. And now as a mum, River's getting the best of you. So I just personally want to acknowledge you for doing that, you know?
Thank you. I'm very proud of myself as well. Yeah.
I mean, I'm always celebrating and giving Tarsh shout outs in the group because I can't help myself. But, listen, what's one thing that you would say to your divine soul sisters who are watching, who are really inspired by you? What would you say to them? Because they've got fear as well.
I just want to say, just do it anyway. If this is what is right for you, if you feel this is right for you, just make that decision, just say yes, and everything will happen. It will work out. Like, just do it. I don't know. That's all I can say. I suppose it's just because just do it. Just do it.
I'm gonna become a masterful receiver like Tarsh. That's what Tarsh said. She's like, I'm so good at receiving. That's I've noticed that so much about you is shift out of almost like, don't come near me to just like, bring it on. Like, who wants to help me? Who wants to give me things? You know, hello universe, give me more money. Like, you've just really softened. It's really beautiful.
Yes, thank you. Because that has definitely been a massive shift in me, is the receiving. Yeah. You know, I've had money coming continuously, just like from out of nowhere.
Nowhere.
And it was, you know, just amazing. And just you know, and just people like my family and friends, they've always been supportive. It's a different support though. Like, I've allowed them into my life. Right. Like, I've allowed them to help me, and just really sharing my vulnerability with them.
That's
you know,
right now. Being so vulnerable. Yes. And do you know how gratifying it is for them? I'm sure they've made comments to be able to support you in this deeper way. Like, they would be feeling so good supporting you because you're actually letting that in versus like, I don't need your support, but I'll take it. You're just like, yes, support me. Like, it's beautiful for them to be on the other side of that.
I noticed the difference in a lot of my relationships. Whether work colleagues, my boss, to my friends, to my family, the different connection we have now. Yeah, totally different.
I just wish I had a before, Tash. I wish I could put right here, like how you're just in a completely, you look different. Like you just look like a completely different person. There's so much light and confidence, and also just this, it's like this beautiful, soft, gentle power. That's what it's like.
Thank you.
No, I don't want
That's how I feel. That's how
good.
I feel.
Good. Well, it's showing, it's reading on you, but I don't want to keep you away from little baby River. And
Yes.
Hear my goal.
And your little brother.
Having a good giggle. So thank you so much for coming, making the time. And I'm so excited to celebrate you as well, because listen, when you girls want something, you've got to fight for it. You've got to say to the universe, I fucking deserve it, and it's right now. Otherwise, that right now is never going to come.
Totally.
And I don't know what my husband's playing to her right now, so I have to go and see what's going on. But if you want to, if they want to reach out to you, don't harass her. She's a new mum. But if they've got, like, you know, they really want to ask you a question, is that okay?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Don't harass her. Okay. Because she's okay. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tasha. Hold on one sec. I'm just going to stop. Thank you.
No worries.